for the next like 12 minutes or however long this review is, I'm gonna ride the PS5, okay? Pause. I've spent so many hours using this thing. So I just want to say I did get this thing used. It was in acceptable condition. But as y'all see, this, besides the fingerprints, this is way better than acceptable condition. There's nothing wrong with it. Also, I was wondering why it was kind of gray, and it's the slim. All right, so this goes for $650 in Canada with the disc, $500 in the US. I did get it used from Amazon warehouse deals for around $430. For that price, $220 off. This is an absolute steal. And I want to say that the console itself, I really fuck with the design. I'm gonna be honest. It gives that futuristic look. It is slimmer than the Xbox, but it's wider than the Xbox. The PS5 is 6'1", 160 pounds. That's the best way I can describe it. It's tall, but it's slimmer than the Xbox. Then we have the disc as well, the eject button. You know, we got 2 USB-C ports. And on the Xbox, I don't think there's a USB-C port, which is wild to me. But this one it also has the power button. Hold for like 3 seconds to put in rest mode, and then hold it for like 6 seconds to power off. We got the HDMI port, we got the Ethernet, and we got the 2 USB-A, and then the power adapter at the bottom. The one thing I don't like, I'm gonna be honest, is the glossy finish. They could have just went with like a matte finish or plastic. I don't like the glossiness. And for ventilation, I would think it's pretty good. There's a lot of open space in the PlayStation for the air to come out. So airflow, I would say, is not that bad. As for like the fans and stuff, from my experience, the Xbox Series X is quieter, but it's not too noticeable. If you have your headset on, you're not gonna hear this thing. It does make some noise. I don't have a dB tester, but you can hear it if you have no headphones on, but it's not annoying. And so overall, the look of the PS5 is good. If y'all want to know the specs, they're pretty similar to the Series X. However, the Series X is stronger, but like the CPU and the GPU pretty much the same. So the CPU, we got a AMD Ryzen Zen 2 8 cores at 3.5 gigahertz. The GPU is AMD Radeon RDNA 2 based graphics card with 10.28 teraflops, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM. The internal storage is a 825 gigabyte SSD. We have an expandable NVMe slot in there. So I mean, pretty standard specs. Again, only real difference between the Xbox Series X and the PS5 is the GPU. The Xbox has like 1.8 teraflops more. Does help, obviously, but it's not like a insane amount. You're looking at 1440p 60 fps. However, it is like upscaled, so it's not native. It's still a lot better. This does have 120 hertz, but I don't know why the Xbox and PS5 do this, but the UI is 60 hertz. Why? The console can do 120 hertz. Why don't you make the UI 120? It would make for a smoother experience. It surely wouldn't use that much CPU or GPU because it's just the UI. I know this console supports 120 hertz gaming. However, just expect 60 FPS, okay? If there's that 120 FPS option that unlocks the frame rate, most games are hitting, I'm gonna be honest, like 80 to 90 frames, and that just doesn't feel stable, especially if your monitor or TV doesn't support VRR, which helps the experience be more smoother at those frame rates. I'd say like 98% of games are not hitting 120 FPS. Just because it can do 120 hertz doesn't mean it should do 120 hertz. And for the UI, when I was using it, it was like, it's pretty basic. I'm so used to the Xbox UI. I know it at the back of my head. This one takes a little bit getting used to, like especially if you're trying to switch games and stuff like that. So yeah, the UI is pretty basic, but I'll get used to it. One thing I missed on the Xbox is quick resume. Quick resume is so good. I can't believe the PS5 doesn't have that. It has like with the SSD, it can do the same thing the Xbox can. I don't know why they don't support it. but being able to play up to 2 games and switch to those simultaneously, leaving right where you left off, even when you turn off that console, that is such an underrated feature. Not even PC can do that. And of course, the controller. I forgot to talk about this thing. The rumble is like a cool idea. You know, I notice it in games when I'm doing a bow and arrow shot. The more I pull back, the harder it is to push down. That is such a unique feature. I don't use it because I think it fucks with your battery life. And by the way, battery life on this, you're getting like a day. You know what I'm saying? Like 8-9 hours maybe. So it's not that good. But like most non-elite controllers are not that good. Like the Xbox Elite Series 2, I don't know what that battery life is, but it's cracked. It's literally like 40 hours, bro. It's insane. But this one has like 8 to 9. The rumble feature is really cool, but I just don't use it because I don't like vibration, you know? So, but I like the way it feels, the way it looks. Again, we're going for that futuristic look. It looks great. I like the matte, and the triggers feel nice. It is a big upgrade from the PS4, and I love the touchpad. Not only can you use the touchpad they usually use it for the map, you can use it as an extra button. It also has a microphone, which is terrible. They should have not added that, but I guess that's cool. So apparently the PS5 will let you record up to 60 minutes. However, not every game supposedly supports this feature. Just get like a capture card, like an Elgato or something. One thing that is very useful on the Xbox is you can actually stream games on Discord to your friends and use Discord on Xbox. You can use Discord on PS5 if you just connect your Discord to your PlayStation account. However, you cannot stream games from your PS5 unless you have a capture card. The last thing I want to talk about, I did not own the PS4. I owned the PS4 for a month, and then Panorama 19 happened and I had to sell that thing ASAP. So I had the PS4 for a month. The only game I played on that console was 2K and God of War. So I didn't even get to experience the other games. So this includes the PS4 library and the PS5. So you'd imagine with their Game Pass like system, I think it's called like PlayStation Extra, PlayStation Premium, PlayStation Plus. I have the PlayStation Plus Extra, $17.99 a month here in Canada, but probably like $14.99 in the States. We got to talk about it because I am pretty impressed at their library. It's weird because the splash screen is 120 hertz. So we're going to look at their version of Game Pass, PlayStation Plus. As y'all see, I have Extra. So we click on it, and I want to talk about Premium as well. However, that is $20 a month. But let's just go through extra games, right? Because they do have Essentials. That's basically just to play online, and you get like free games every month, but it's like 2 to 3. See, this UI is not as user-friendly as Xbox, I swear. Well, for me. PlayStation Plus Extra. Okay. So we have the Assassin's Creed collection, like pretty much every game except Valhalla. You got Bloodborne. Bloodborne is like one of the best Souls-like games. You get Control, which is the PS5 and PS4 version, which is good to see. You get Days Gone. I think Days Gone is a pretty good game. You get the PS5 version. You get Demon Souls, again, a really good Dark Souls game. You get Destiny, the Witch Queen. I think this came out last year, so that's not too bad. You get Disco Elysium. Honestly, a really good RPG. I really like this game. You get Doom Eternal and Doom. You get the Dragon Ball games. You get Far Cry 3, Far Cry 6, New Dawn, Primal. You get Final Fantasy. You get a bunch of Final Fantasy games. You get 7, 8 remastered, 7 remake, and then you get the PS5 remake. Ghost of Tsushima, which I have been playing. Such a good game. You get Gotham Knights. You get God of War, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm going to play this when I get the chance, but I personally really like the Horizon series. You get Infamous Second Son, Infamous First Light. These are like classic PlayStation games. You get Immortals Phoenix Rising. Jumanji, the video game. Duh, who doesn't want to play that? Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank. I think this just came out like last year. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 7, Returnal. Returnal is a great roguelike. You get Uncharted 4 and Legacy of Thieves for PlayStation 5. You don't get the OG Uncharted, like 1, 2, 3, the Nathan Drake collection. We'll get to that later. You get Until Dawn. As y'all see, this library is really, really good for $15 a month, I think. Thousands of hours. I don't even know some hidden gems in there, you know? Like maybe Avicii and Vector is really good. And then for premium, this is where you get the classic catalog. All right, and I'm going to show y'all those games. But you also get demos to games that are new. So Ragnarok, you can play for like 2 hours. This really depends on how you feel about it, if that's worth it for you. The classics catalog. I know when this came out, people were disappointed because the library was just not there. However, now the library is not too bad. They have added a lot. Bulletstorm was a fun game. Crisis Remastered. If y'all like the Darksider series, the original Doom series, God of War 3 Remastered, Jack and Daxter. I know that was a classic. Killzone Liberation. Maybe I'll like that. I don't know. Was that the goated Killzone game? But as y'all see, there is a lot more. I counted it and there was 100+. There's also The Last of Us. You get Uncharted as well, the Nathan Drake collection, and Twisted Metal. I think Twisted Metal is really good as well. So yeah, just a bunch of classic games here that you could play. When it first came out, it had like 7 games. So this is a huge upgrade and kind of worth it in my opinion. So again, people love to talk about the Game Pass. And again, if you don't have a PC, the Game Pass is amazing. But as for someone who has a PC and an Xbox, there's no real reason for me to use the Xbox. Whereas this PlayStation, I can do so much. This console is outselling the Xbox and the Switch combined, I think. Last year, Xbox did 7.5. I think the Switch did 11.5 or 12. But the PS5 did like 22.5 million. So the Switch and Xbox combined didn't even outsell the PlayStation. But that's basically everything about the PlayStation. It is such a good console. I really love it. I do not regret buying it at all, especially for the price. Like if you're getting a PS4, if you're getting a PS5 for or like $320 in the US, that is a steal. That is like taking candy from a baby. That is literally like going to Walmart, self-checkout the PS5 as a tomato. Okay, it's not like that, but it feels like I scammed. You know what I'm saying? It's on top for a reason.